Hey y'all, today we are making some more homemade rice-a-roni. Okay, so I made rice-a-roni a good while back on the channel, and there were a few flavors that y'all requested. So I'm finally getting around to making these two. So what we're gonna do, y'all, it is storming here if y'all hear crazy thunder in the background. Okay, so what we're gonna do is put everything together to put in our jar. Now, last time I did this, I put my rice and my pasta in together, and a lot of y'all freaked out. How are you gonna wash your rice? That's so gross. Don't wash you gotta wash your rice, all that kind of stuff. So, if you don't care about washing your rice, don't worry about separating. If you want to wash your rice, then we're gonna put it in a little baggie and separate it, okay? So, I just put in 2/3 of a cup of rice, and this is going to be the equivalent of 1 box of rice-a-roni, okay? And we're doing, like I said, 2 flavors today. We're going to do, this first one that we're doing is the broccoli cheddar. So I added 2/3 of a cup of it's long grain white rice, okay? It's not instant rice. It's the kind you have to cook. But you can use whatever kind of rice you want. Okay, I use, I've told y'all before, I use Parish rice. It's a higher protein, lower glycemic index rice. That's what I like to use, so that's what I'm using. But you can use like long grain white rice, whatever. You can use brown rice if you want to, but you're going to have to adjust the cooking time and the liquid. So then I added to my jar 1/3 of a cup of the little vermicelli noodles. Now, if you can't find those like I had, they're in your Mexican aisle, or you can order them on Amazon. They're like 50 cents a bag. They're super, super cheap. If you can't find any, don't have any, don't want to find them, whatever, you can get just vermicelli noodles or thin spaghetti noodles and break them into pieces. That's what I did last time. Okay, so now I'm adding to this 1/4 of a cup of dehydrated cheddar cheese. We did this together on the channel a while back. This is some broccoli that I grew myself. I'm so proud. I had a little garden this year, and I grew some broccoli. And then when my broccoli was ready, I dehydrated it. So what I'm doing, I'm mashing it down into my little measuring cup because I want the pieces to be a little bit smaller. I don't want like big pieces of broccoli in there. So I'm just kind of smashing them to break them up a little bit. So 1/4 of a cup of your dehydrated cheese and 1/4 cup of your dehydrated broccoli. If you don't have dehydrated cheese, you can just wait till you cook this and add it at the end of cooking it, okay? So now I'm going to add the seasonings. I'm going to add in a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and if you want to give this a kick, add a little cayenne. If you don't want to add salt to it because you need to be salt-free, you can adjust it. Y'all know I love to tell y'all how you can adjust things. I think it tastes delicious the way I did it, but feel free to adjust it to your taste. I added a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon or 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, okay? And that's all I'm going to add in here. If you want to make this a just add water meal, then you can add a little bit of butter powder, and you can also add in some bouillon, like chicken bouillon, if you want to do that. I might try to make a whole, just add water version at some point, like put it together for y'all. But for now, this would just be taking the place of you just going and buying a box at the store, okay? So then you're just going to add everything in your jar, and it's good to go. Do you have to put it in a jar? No, you can stick it over in a bag if you want to. I like the look of the jar. I like the way it's just convenient. I have a lot of jars. So when you're ready to cook this, we're going to do it just like we would do a box of rice-a-roni. 2 tablespoons of butter in your pot. Let that start to melt. Add in your pasta. Rinse your rice really good, and then throw in your rice. We're going to let this cook around just a couple of minutes until it, we get a little toasty brown on there. And if you don't want to do this part, if you just want to dump it all in there together, you can. You do it however you want to do it, but I'm doing it just the way that the box would tell you to do it, okay? So once you've got it as toasted as you want it, we're going to add in 2.5 cups of chicken broth. Now, if you didn't have the dehydrated cheese and broccoli in here, you would only need 2 cups of water. But we need enough water to cook the rice and the pasta and to rehydrate the dehydrated things we've put in here, okay? So you're just going to, once you add your broth, you're just going to stir in your little seasoning packet with your broccoli and your cheese. And you can see as I'm stirring, this cheese is not melting because it's dehydrated. It needs to rehydrate itself and then it will melt, okay? So don't worry if it just looks like, Lord, it's just clumps of cheese, because it is. It's dried out. So we're going to bring that to a boil, and then we're going to cover it, turn it down on the simmer, and we're going to let it simmer for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, look, I'm smoking y'all out. Sorry. I used the wrong hand to pick the lid up and put the smoke right in y'all's face. I'm going to clean it up, though. So after 15 minutes, it is done. It's nice and done. You can see that you cannot see the cheese any longer because it rehydrated and then it melted just like cheese is supposed to do. And then our broccoli is also nice and tender. So all you got to do is stir it up just to make sure you have your cheese mixed in really good. And that's it. You just made some broccoli and cheddar rice-a-roni. And it's delicious. It's very, very good. I really could just eat the whole thing, but you know a box is like, what, 85 servings? So I didn't do that, y'all. So anyway, this is what it looks like once it is done. Like I said, it is really, really good. So if you were one of the people who asked for this flavor, I finally got around to it. Here it is, y'all. Okay, so the second flavor that we're going to do today is the rice pilaf. Now, you're going to have some options with this one, just a little bit, because I've seen it done so many different ways, but this is just the way I'm doing it, okay? So we're going to start out just like we did with the other flavor. We're going to add 2/3 of a cup of rice right to our little baggie, and then we're going to add our pasta. You can also use orzo if you want to use that. You know, a lot of people like to use orzo in theirs, but sometimes the cooking time is a little different. So just watch that. If you add things that are other than what I am adding, it may just, may have to adjust a few things. So to my jar, I added, just like I said before, 1/3 of a cup of the pasta. And it's just the little broken little tiny pieces of vermicelli. And then we're going to get our seasoning pack together. So for this one, we're going to add, of course, different things because it's not cheddar broccoli, so we're not putting cheese and broccoli in this one. Okay, so for the seasonings in this one, we are going to add, you already know, onion powder and garlic powder, 1 teaspoon, and the printable recipes are down in the description box for y'all if you need those, okay? And then, a teaspoon of onion powder, teaspoon of garlic powder. Then we're going to add in a teaspoon of paprika. And this is just regular paprika. You could do smoked paprika if you want to, but it doesn't really matter for this recipe. So 1 teaspoon of paprika. Then we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of parsley flakes. If you don't like parsley, add whatever herb you want to add in there. And look, I was getting it all stuck to the sides. I was like, I don't want to lose none of my seasonings. So then we're going to add in a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I find that if you add much more pepper than that, it's a little too peppery. So for this one, I am going to add in, these are some dehydrated peas and carrots that I did. And I'm only going to add in about 1/8 of a cup of those. So a couple of tablespoons. I don't want a lot of vegetable in here, but I love the rice pilaf that I get from like the Greek restaurant, and it always has little peas and carrots in there. So that's why I wanted to add just a little bit of the peas and carrots to mine, because I just love that. Now, if you don't want to put peas and carrots in yours, you don't have to, but they're really, really good. And all I did was dehydrate a can of the mixed peas and carrots. That's what that is. So anyway, once you get all your little packets all done up, you're just going to stick this down in your jar, and that's it. That's how you make the copycat rice-a-roni rice pilaf. So 2 yummy flavors today, y'all, 2 yummy flavors. And I will tell you, these are absolutely delicious if I do say so myself. If I do say so myself. And I always think, why did I wait so long to do these? Well, I'm busy. That's one of the biggest reasons. And for any of y'all wondering about my old crusty ankle that I broke, because I know a lot of people ask me about it still, it is a lot better. I'm out of the boot, and I have started physical therapy, so I am well on my way, on the road to recovery. So what I did with this is I added my butter, melted my butter, and then I added in my pasta and my rice. And for this one, because we're not rehydrating as much as we did in the last one, you're only going to add 2 1/4 cups of the chicken broth to this recipe, okay? So stir that up good. And for this one, I remember when one of y'all told me one time to, put the liquid in there and then get all of the good seasonings out. And I forgot to pour just like a little bit of chicken broth out of the measuring cup. So I thought, let me just throw a little bit in my Ziploc bag, shake it around a little bit, and get the rest of the seasonings out of my bag. So that's what I did. But you definitely don't have to do that if you don't want to. So you're just going to stir it up, make sure all your seasonings are stirred in good, bring it to a boil, cut it down to a simmer, put the lid on it, let it sit for 15 minutes, okay? Let it simmer for 15 minutes. Then after 15 minutes, you see I opened the lid in the right direction this time. That's it. All your rice is nice and ready. Your vegetables are nice and rehydrated. Just make sure, that's the biggest part of this, making sure that your rice is cooked and your vegetables are rehydrated in your dish. So it may take you a few minutes longer, but I find for me, 15 minutes is the perfect amount of time for this. So that is it. You now have your homemade recipe for rice-a-roni rice pilaf and rice-a-roni, what was the other one? Broccoli and cheddar. I'm losing my mind. This weather has got me all thrown off. But anyway, so 2 brand new flavors that are not really new, but they're new for us. So anyway, I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. I hope that y'all are going to make these, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.